Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. This is Horror Trans. My name is Stephanie Bree. I happen to be a transgender woman who sometimes talks about all things horror-related stuff. And for this episode of Horror Icons, we're digging into Tommy Doyle and Tommy Doyle and Tommy Doyle and Tommy Doyle. Because this motherfucker exists in 4 goddamn timelines. Because the dipshits in control of the Halloween franchise and the fanatical fans who put the word fanatic in the word fan, which is where it comes from, just can't be satisfied with a fucking film. They just gotta fucking keep revising it. Like George Lucas style, only instead of like editing it and fixing it in post, they're like, fuck it, let's just remake it, but also not remake it, but also reference it, but also not reference it. I get a fucking headache when I talk about the Halloween franchise. I feel like I'm going to have an aneurysm or a stroke or something. This franchise is too goddamn convoluted. So let's talk about Tommy Doyle. In the original Halloween, he's just a kid. He's just a kid that Jamie Lee Curtis's character, Laurie Strode, is babysitting. He's semi-relevant to the story because he also, is a major character. We're following him around. We're following him through the eyes of the murderer. He witnesses some of the crimes, and he also him in his I'm saying girlfriend, but not romantic girlfriend. The girl across the street who's his friend. I forgot her character's name. She'll come. I'll do a video on her later because she comes back again. But anyways, Tommy Doyle rides off into the sunset, and we never hear from him again until we get to Halloween 4. Where he's a background character you wouldn't know was him unless you read Wikipedia or IMDb. But he's in the movie, but he's a throwaway character, just sort of like, remember that little boy from Halloween? This is him. Wink, wink. Nothing to speak of in that movie. In the original Halloween, he's kind of an obnoxious little kid. He's an 8-year-old boy. What do you expect? He's got sci-fi horror comic books that he shouldn't have. He's watching horror movies on the TV while at the same time begging the babysitter to let him carve pumpkins. And the babysitter's like, there's some weird shit going on across the street, but I'm just gonna ignore that. And he's like, but the boogeyman's outside. I saw him. And she's like, there is no boogeyman, even though she's already seen him 3 or 4 times in the movie, but she's still in denial. But anyways, Tommy Doyle, bonds with, I think her name was Lindsay Wallace? I want to say Lindsay Wallace. Anyways, not a tremendous fan of the Halloween franchise. You all know this. So, I'm doing my best. But anyways, Halloween 4, he's just a throwaway side character as sort of a wink and a nod to the original film. Let's move on. When we finally get to Halloween 6, The Curse of Michael Myers, Tommy Doyle is now a grown-ass dude. He's a full-on adult. And creepy stalkery dude is way obsessed with the Myers house. He lives right across the street from it and stares at it with a telescope all day long and blogs about it in the old school way of what blogging was back in the day before we had the internet. Well, we had the internet, but it was infant internet. It wasn't what we have today. But anyways, so he's blogging about the Myers house. I lost my lighter. This is not good. So anyways, he's one of the main characters. The gist of it is he kind of helps solve the mystery of the cult of Thorn and why Michael Myers is obsessed with, I don't know, the devil or an evil horse or something. And goes on a quest with a baby he finds randomly in a bathroom stall at a train station, I believe it was. Or bus depot, I'm not 100%. But anyways, he's the central character of Curse of Michael Myers. He's a bit erratic. He's your crazy stalker dude from your 90s horror movie, obsessed horror fan who is way too into what happened to him as a kid, and he's like calling into radio shows and going on a hero's quest to save this baby. And then maybe allegedly, possibly, survives the movie. The ending is ambiguous because there's two endings. But whichever ending you watch, you just kind of have to make up your own what happens to Tommy Doyle. Because the fucking Halloween franchise is a choose-your-own-adventure nightmare, there's another fucking goddamn timeline with another version of Tommy Doyle. This time, this is in Halloween Kills. He pops up, played by the kind of iconic, but we'll get there one of these days, Anthony Michael Hall. And this time, he's got PTSD from his childhood trauma. Now, the level, I'm gonna bitch about the reboot trilogy, the Blumhouse trilogy, because the level of PTSD these people have as a town over fucking two teenagers getting murdered 40 years ago is disproportionate to the two teenagers that were killed. You know, like maybe their immediate family and some of their close friends would remember the tragedy. 40 years later, nobody else. The town wouldn't be obsessed with it. Shit happens. Murders happen all the goddamn time. It makes more sense to have this level of trauma that the town has in Halloween Kills if they didn't erase the timeline. If at the very least Halloween 2 happened where he blows up a hospital and murders a whole town of people. Yeah, you would have the mob chanting, "Evil dies tonight." But like, some dude killed a couple of kids 40 years ago, you're like, alright, let's call the FBI and let them deal with it. You wouldn't go bonkers. There wouldn't be this level of trauma. This movie is not proportional to the events they're trying to... And it's stupid. I hate this Blumhouse trilogy. I hate it. But anyways, we have to deal with it. So this Tommy Doyle is a vigilante mob boss. So, not mob as in mafia, but just like it's an angry mob. He's the boss of the angry mob. And he starts an angry mob, and they go hunt down Michael Myers and fuck him up. But then Michael Myers, now he's supernatural and can't die. Even though we're ignoring the films that made him supernatural and couldn't die, but oops, whatever. And he just fucking kills everybody. And this Tommy Doyle dies in the chaos. As of this moment in time, as far as I know, and I'm not digging any further into it, there are no additional Tommy Doyles. In every timeline, in every appearance of Tommy Doyle, he's basically a jackass. He's a worthless character. He contributes nothing of value to any of the films he's in. He's just sort of there, causing trouble, or getting into trouble, or making things worse. He literally serves no fucking purpose in any of the movies he's in. So why did I talk about him? Well, because Halloween is a big fucking franchise. There are bajillions of weirdos out there that actually fucking like this franchise. And I'm like, 4 is good. 6 is okay. I'll watch Resurrection, but that's it. This franchise is a fucking mess. Tommy Doyle is indicative of why this goddamn franchise is a mess. Because you have 4 fucking characters with the same name and they're all useless dickwads.